Hello chess lovers, this is Coach Daniel Megan, and today I want to show you one of the most craziest game I played in the last few games in chess.com, one of my blitz game, and it was a 3 minutes game against international master. His rating on chess.com is 2555, and this game was absolutely crazy. I had inside this Mikhail Tal spirit, just to sacrifice everything and to go all in. And in the middle game, I did a few inaccurate moves, and my opponent, which is very strong player, international master, managed to take advantage on these moves, and basically he got the decisive advantage. And what's usually happening in this kind of positions when one of the sides hold in a decisive advantage, he trying to guard this advantage, and he's losing a lot of time on the clock, and sometimes he even success to mess it up, like you will see in this game. And when I'm playing in the underdog position, it's much more easier for me, especially in blitz, because I'm just the type of player, of a chess player, that will go all in. I'm not trying to hold the position. I'm trying to actually push and push and push, because mentally speaking, there is something when you have a decisive advantage that you are trying to hold this advantage and actually avoid from simplify the position, which this is what you should do. Actually, you should try and simplify the position. For example, if you have two rooks advantage, but you can sacrifice one of the rooks and just make it an extra rook endgame, rook against a few pawns, rook and pawn against few pawns, instead of two rooks against a rook and few pawns. So it will be much better for you to do so, especially in a blitz game where you have only a few minutes on the clock. If you will try to hold the position to guard your advantage, you are going to lose a lot of time on the clock, because your opponent, which is in the underdog position, is just going to try and push you and push you and push you, and he doesn't care. He has nothing to lose. So let's start and see this game. d4, queen's pawn, knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, d5. Nothing unusual, of course. I don't really like to play this kind of openings. I feel it's a bit boring, even positionally speaking. But let's see how this game developed. e3, castling, queen c2, c6, just to stretch a little bit the center of the board. I have this network of pawns guarding each other, and this is all just book's move actually. Bishop d3, knight b to d7, knight to e2, rook e8, with the idea to go knight f8 and maybe knight e6 or knight g6. Castling and knight f8, f3. And here I did something which is okay by the engine, but for me it was a bit off the plan. I played h6, which now eliminated me from playing in the future knight to g6, because I have one less defense on the g6 square in this position, and I really didn't like it because I didn't follow my plan, and it was just an intuitive move. You are playing blitz, you are off guard for 1 second, you lose your concentration and just play h6 and what I'm going to do now. But the main idea behind the h6 was actually to put some pressure on the e3 square after bishop h4. I wanted actually to push some pressure for the e3 square, but I felt a little bit stuck. I didn't know how to do it immediately, and I just, this is a kind of blitz where each side has only 3 minutes on the clock, so I had to play a little bit faster, and I played the move c5, trying to break the center, and again, if he exchanged the pawns, I put some pressure on the e3, and if it doesn't exchange the pawns, I want to play maybe bishop e6, rook c8, and put some pressure on the c file. So c5, king h1, c4. Now I force him to exchange this bishop, the light squares bishop, and this is good for me because this bishop is really inactive. I have nothing to do with it at the moment, and I don't see any good future for this bishop. So I just decided to force this exchange, and this is very good. This is a very good move by the engine, by the way. And here I should have played queen to d7. This is just very simple move to simplify the position and just go for the end game and put some pressure on e3 square and play the positionally moves, the positionally play here, and not go for any kind of tactics or to mess up the position. But you know, this is blitz. I like to be aggressive. I like to go all in. I like to make the game interesting. And I didn't feel too much for queen d7, just exchange the queen and go for this kind of endgame, or even after queen c2. It felt to me very boring position, and each one of us still had about 2 minutes on the clock. So I said to myself, I don't want to go into this kind of endgame. Basically, I felt also d5 will be a weakness because there are no pawns to guard this d5 pawn. So I just decided to play knight to g6, which is a little bit inaccurate move, but it's not such a bad move, especially not in blitz. You know, while you are playing blitz, you're mainly trying to avoid from any kind of blunders. You know, as long as you didn't give away your queen, your rook, you feel okay. Let's continue the game. Bishop f2, a6, preparing b5, b4, trying to push and to make some pressure on the queen side. Rook to d1 and b5 with the plan to go a3, rook b8, and the plan a5, b4. Now I feel really committed to this attack on the queen side. Queen side, I mean to this side of the board, of course. This is my queen side, and after a5, b4, I feel really pretty good. You know, I'm not sure what kind of attack I will be able to develop there, but I felt this is good pressure on my opponent. And of course, he's preparing e4 to break the center, so I have to move fast. e4, and here I did the second inaccurate move, and I took on e4. What I should have played in this position is actually to continue with my plan and play a5, e5, b4. Now you have to understand this blitz, we need to go for the aggressive moves, we need to go for the initiative, and I just want to show you what would have happened if I would play this line. After taking on f6, I would have taken on c3, taking on e7. Now I have one pawn for my piece, and after queen g4 I have the second pawn for my piece. So actually, materially speaking, I'm only in -1 point, but aggressively speaking, tactically speaking, and attackingly speaking, I'm going for c3, c2, rook b3 if I need it first, and just very, very good position for the black, especially in blitz. But you know what? Even in classic game, give me 2 hours on the clock, I prefer to play black position here. So, for example, queen f4, rook b3, and black has some advantage on this position according to the engine, but according to human being, I feel a decisive advantage for the black side. So, let's go backwards a little bit. And I didn't see this line while I was playing, and I actually instinctively just went for the exchange on e4, and this was inaccurate move because now he has very good attack on the f file, and this is what I blunder actually. I just looked on the f file, and you can see it in the next few moves. I had a very big blunder, and I was in shock that he didn't see it. I will show you what happened. After queen c8, just trying to exchange the queens and put the other rook on c8 and just attack on the queen side. Queen f3, a5, bishop g3, rook b7, and still I'm in this kind of what called tunnel vision. You know, I'm focusing only on the queen side, and this was my biggest mistake of the game because I'm in this tunnel vision. I'm looking only on the queen side, and I'm completely mislook the f file. So after e5, I found myself playing the move knight h7, and I'm saying to myself, oh, everything is okay. And then, you know, I just take a look on the board. Oh my god, he's going to take on f7. This is a losing position. I can resign. But I said to myself, you know what? Let's just wait a few seconds before I'm going to resign, and let's see what he's going to play. And suddenly, he plays the move knight e4. So I said to myself, okay, this is time to be a little bit Michal style spirit, you know, and I'm going all in, you know. He just keep the win by taking on f7, and this just gave me this motivation to go all in and to make this game as crazy as I can. So after knight g5, I can exchange the knight and I have a defense on f7, and after knight c3, b4, knight e4, threatening to go to d6, I'm saying to myself, he has a decisive advantage. This position should be much better for white. He can find the win. I need to go all in. I don't want to try to hold this position, because I will try to hold this position. He will push me slowly but surely, and he will win this game. So I'm going all in with the move c3. You see, I could have played bishop e7 and after queen f7, king h7, and I feel kind of safe for my king. But after queen d5, with the ideas like rook f7, the second rook to f1, some sacrifices on the mind of my opponent here. Nothing to play, no counter attack. I didn't want to go through this line. So I just moved all in with the move c3, knight d6, and here it's starting to be really crazy. Just c2. I'm saying to myself, he has a decisive advantage. I'm sure in his mind he will like to guard this advantage, and he will try to do it as best as he can. He will try and push and push and push, and what will happen, he will start to lose time on the clock, and he will start to complicate itself, and just not sure which move to go and what advantage he would like to achieve. Do I take the queen? Do I take the rook? Do I move my rook? And he played the move rook c1, and I'm just saying to myself, okay, so the plan is working, I'm going all in. I managed to confuse him, and this is just kind of psychological effect, and after, if just would have taken in on c8, I will take on d1, and I cannot take even on c8 because the rook is hanging, completely winning for white. But again, if Michael Stahl did it, I can do it as well. At least this is what I thought. So rook c1, and I take on a3. Beautiful move, and I just want to show you what was my plan. After taking on c8, I take on c1 with the idea to promote another queen. And if he would have played, for example, queen b7, I want to actually move the bishop, but not to move the bishop at the moment. First, to take on b2. And I'm saying to myself, I'm going all in with this line. I have 2 pawns. Let's see what will happen. We both had about 30 seconds on the clock at this moment, so I'm just going all in. And as long as it's not going to make me have this feeling in me that I'm going to win this game. So he didn't play this move. He actually took on a3. And here I played the amazing move rook to b1. Now, what is so amazing about this move? It's actually a winning move. Rook b1, it's actually a winning move. Now, if white going to play really accurate, he will be able to stabilize the position, to stable the position, and still black has some advantage and the initiative, which is the most important in this position. But rook b1, I just said to myself, there must be something in here if he takes on f7. I mean, there is no way he can take on f7, and he took on f7, king h7, and now I just want to show you my idea. If he takes, for example, on e8, after bishop d2, threatening mate on f1, he cannot exchange the rook, and it's just a losing position for him. No matter what he's going to play, he's going to lose on the next move, because of not just the threat to promote the queen and the taking here the rook, is actually a mating net. So he cannot do it. So what he decided to play is knight e6, and here after rook f8, just completely lost the position. He went for queen c4. I went for bishop e3 with the mate net, and after knight f7, takes on f1, takes back, and takes on f7. And here, completely winning position for black. No matter where the queen is going to move, I'm just going to promote and win the position. So I really hope you enjoyed it. This reminds me so much of Michael Stahl's games, and I'm going to see you in the next video, which I promise you will be at least as interesting as this game.